Hey everybody! It's been a while since I've done one of these musical countdown videos. This one we're going to be talking about the top 5 final levels in video games, yeah. Even though some of these technically aren't like the last level, but whatever, it works. But let's get right into it. Number 5 is from Rocket Knight Adventures, a hidden gem by Konami for the Genesis. There was also Sparkster for the Super Nintendo. It was pretty much the same game, but like slightly different, because that's kind of what Konami did during the 16-bit era. Like they'd make two different games for each console. Like for example, Contra. There was Contra 3 for the Super Nintendo and Contra Hardcore for the Genesis. But anyway, this was the last level from Rocket Knight Adventures. A bit kind of like a gritty techno type of thing, like. I don't know. This one is like. I wouldn't say it's a great song, but it's not like bad either. I don't know if I'd say it called it a guilty pleasure or not, because I don't know. I never really know. Well, nobody really talks about these games that much, so it's hard to say if people like this music or not. But like I said, I always thought it was kind of cool, even though it's kind of it's one of those things that's like weird but good, you know. Again, weird in a good way. Like at least that's kind of how I look at it. Even though it's kind of like a loop, it loops over a lot. But I've talked about in videos before. I kind of like music that loops to an extent. It depends on the thing. Yeah. But let's move on to number 4. I feel like I had a sneeze coming. Number 4 is the Doom Castle from Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Now, back in the 90s, RPGs weren't too popular here in the States. Like, they were huge in Japan, not so much in the States, but, that was kind of why, like, it was like Final Fantasy 2 and 3 weren't released here, 4 was, then 5 wasn't, and then 6, well, so on and so forth. But anyway, but it was like, so they kind of came up with the strategy, like, let's make a kind of watered down, simplified Final Fantasy game for the Super Nintendo to kind of give people a feel for it. Maybe you get them in on the genre, or so to speak. But it didn't really go over well. Cause I remember my brother renting it way back in the day. And the game really just isn't that good. Like, especially coming off of like Final Fantasy 2 and which was technically 4, but people who did play the Final Fantasy games were kind of disappointed. Well, I'm sure plenty of you know the story, but anyway, the game wasn't that good, but it did have some great music, especially the last level called the Doom Castle. Funny, it's like one of the best songs, not the best, but one of the best songs in the franchise, and it's in a game that was kind of like a lesser known type of thing that, yeah, that was like, you know what I mean. It was a game that was made, like I said, just specifically to try and get more people into it, but didn't really work. I don't think I ever played this game. I mean, I remember, like I said, I watched my brother play it, like, because he rented it back during the 16-bit era. It almost felt kind of like Dragon Quest, only not as good. moving on to number 3. One of my favorite gaming mascots of the 90s, Earthworm Jim. It's like part of the last level, which is called Buttville. The 90s gross out era. But anyway, or Use Your Head was another way. I think that might have been, or I think maybe it was Use Your Head and then Buttville. But anyway, it's like when he's doing the helicopter head spin thing and you're going down like a, kind of like a Battletoads type, almost like in the Battletoads games. It's like a maze where you're going down and you're going down, and then you let's just play the song. Trying to avoid like spiked walls and stuff. Speaking of Battletoads, now that I think of it, I can't believe I forgot about that. Another great final stage theme was the Dark Tower from Battletoads Battle Maniacs on Super Nintendo. Should put that on this list. Whatever. Live and Learn. I love this song. And it's funny, I always thought, like, well, even now, I always felt like Earthworm Jim would be a great addition to Smash Brothers. That's part of the reason, because his game music was awesome. Oh, jeez. Sadly, that'll probably never happen, because it was funny is, I mean, there have been, like, there's always, like, rumors and speculation going around and stuff that it's, like, Ultimate might be the last Smash Bros. Game, which I honestly would be okay with, because it's, like, I don't know how they could ever top that one. And it would be nice to see Sakurai move on to some other projects, like do some other things other than Smash Brothers. Like maybe a JRPG with all different Nintendo characters. Not like Mario RPG, which that does look really good, but you know. On top of the fact, I know, like, yeah, because I mean, Smash Brothers is like a huge seller for Nintendo, but it's like, you know, if Sakurai, like, wanted to move on, I know he would never want to, like, and he might, like, maybe, like, pass the reins on to someone else, like, you know, he could always just, he doesn't have to work on the game, he could supervise something, like, again, I don't know how they could top Ultimate, but look at Mortal Kombat, all the times that's been rebooted, you know, because Ultimate is, in a way, almost like Mortal Kombat Armageddon. But, let's move on to number 2. Now, this one was almost number 1. But anyway, this song is from Halo 4, which kind of like a black sheep of the franchise. I liked the story in that one. I loved the villain, the Didact, which they're actually going to make a book about him since, yeah. But anyway, the last level, you go to like a ship, well, the Didact ship, and it plays this song that goes like this. That's not it. Hold on. Hold that thought. Okay, there we go. It goes like this. It starts a little slow, but then it really starts to pick up and stuff. It gets better. Actually, you know what? Let me just skip it a bit. This was like I said, kind of like the black sheep of the franchise, but I loved the story. Even the multiplayer I thought was really good. Even though it was missing some features and stuff, and the music in this game was absolutely amazing, especially in this song. Like, I think this is like one of the best final stage themes in video game history. This game is only like 10 years old, and I've been gaming for over 30 years. I was gonna say, it gets really good, like, at one point. another part coming up that's like really good. It's right about here. Yeah, this is the part that like I think is like my favorite part. Well, this leading into like the next part, so to speak. So let's go down to number 1. Now, some of you might know what this is, or I mean, you might have an idea of what number 1 song is. Well, of course, the Wily stage from Mega Man 2. I almost said 1 for some reason. Technically, because I think it's like, you know, the Wily stages are always like 4 levels or so, 3 or 4, you know, so I think it's like for the first 2 Wily stages it's this song. Then the other 2 it's like something else, then there's like the part where you go to fight the alien and stuff, and it's like that. So, like I said, technically not the final stage theme, but whatever. Not only like this is like probably the best final stage theme in gaming history, it's one of the best songs in general in gaming history. It's just such a epic and catchy tune. You know, so many different covers of it, stuff like, you know, for like metal and rock and roll bands and stuff, or even just like people like that make music with computers, you know, to do like covers and stuff using different instruments. And naturally, it's in Smash Brothers with it because of Mega Man. The second one definitely had the best. I mean, all Mega Man games have good music, but I think the second one had the best music. Out of like the 8 bosses, my favorite stage theme would have to be Flashman. Woodman would probably be a close second. Or Metal Man. You know, maybe a tie between. Or Quick Man, actually. Well, those are some of my favorite final stage themes. Like I said, there are others, like the Dark Tower from Battletoads, Battle Maniacs, for example, but anyways, hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.